After becoming an employee there, his superior taught him how to use a computer and create documents.
Hey, do you know how to become Yakuza? That boy is like 27 years old, right?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Small Talk Japan. On this show, we talk about all things Japan in English. My name is Mitch, this is my co-host.
Natsuki.
And today we're wearing masks because Natsuki is very pregnant.
Yeah, my due date is February 18.
So 4 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody I know is pregnant. It's crazy. I wonder what we're going to do when Natsuki is gone. When she has her baby, Josh, who do you think we should have to replace her?
Kanna's pretty good, I think.
Our assistant at the school, Kanna. She's, how would you describe her?
She's one of a kind.
She's like, how would you describe her? She's like she's like a character. She's like a Muppet. She's like a Muppet.
Understandable.
Yeah, she she just has a crazy character and you never know what she's gonna say. But one thing about her that's really interesting is she always has she's like a slower computer. You know when you try to open something on a slower computer, it just takes a little while for the window to open. Mm-hmm. That's like Kanna. You'll talk to her and she'll just freeze for a minute and look at you. And then she'll say something really hilarious.
Oh, she's probably thinking.
No, she's stopped. It's not that she's thinking. It's literally she just stops.
Okay.
It's little lag wheel comes out. She's
okay.
I don't know, I was thinking about that. You were talking pre-show, Natsuki, that during the pandemic, condom sales are down.
Yeah, that's what I saw on the news.
I'm thinking that's probably because, pandemic, you can't have...
One night stand.
One night stands. What do you say? You guys call it one night love.
One night love, that's what
Did
we
you know
say.
That? One night torabu is how they call one night stand. Seriously.
First time to know, one night stand. One night stand. Okay.
One night stand.
Okay, one night love, ne? Okay.
So, one night torabu. I guess that sounds better than one night stand.
So that's the reason why condom sales is going down. Because no need to use it.
It's either that or just in general, sex in Japan is just not happening.
Oh.
all of my friends who are Japanese couples, I'm like, so how's your sex life? They're like, oh, that ended years ago. It's like.
Or they just keeping secret.
Yeah, no, they just don't have sex.
What about you?
Well, we're good. No, I'm kidding. So I was on Tinder the other day, and I was because I'm very, very single, and I was just I go on Tinder whenever I have a free moment. It's like a cigarette break. I sit in judgment of other people, looking at them swiping right or left. I'm mostly kidding here, but anyway, I noticed yesterday on Tinder they have a little stamp that says vaccinated. So it's
sounds like safe.
Before, in certain communities they would say if their HIV status, now it's your vaccination status.
Yeah, understandable.
It's kind of a weird world. Getting to the news, guys. So I'm going to do 3 news articles in one. One is Tokyo cases top 4,000 for the first time in every single day. It says Tokyo cases of corona blah 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 for the first time since, and then it just keeps going back in the calendar. Mm-hmm. So. Welcome to Omicron, everybody. Which is, here's the thing. Wait, I'll get to that at the end here. Okay, second story. Japan's daily coronavirus is top 13,000 for the first time in 4 months. So they keep saying this. And then anyway, the last article I want to say is 90% of Omicron cases in Okinawa show no or mild symptoms. So this is the important thing about the pandemic here. And this is actually happening in the United States, is the CDC has recommended that people, not the CDC, but a board of education in, I think, New York has recommended that daily testing for the coronavirus is not necessarily a good idea. And the thinking here is, if the coronavirus becomes as mild as a cold, because if everybody gets vaccinated, and with Omicron supposedly not as dangerous as Delta, there's some debate on that still, but if that's the case, then we don't really need to worry so much about it going forward.
Right.
It just becomes a regular virus that's circulates through the community every winter, and it's like, oh, I got a cold. Oh, poor you. Have some orange juice. So I think that's how this is going to end, but we don't know.
I get tired of it. When is this over?
Everybody's tired of it.
Yeah.
So last week we had a eulogy for Ricky, my staff that waited in Canada for 13 months and never got in. He linked me something. Josh, can you throw it up on the screen? It's an amazing website.
What is he going to do in Canada?
First we'll talk about this website. So it's called Is Japan Open Yet?
Yeah.
And what does it say? No, Japan is still closed. It's like you know how they have like websites you go to? It's like, is blah 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 down, or is it down? I think it's called. And like you type in a website and it tells you if the website's down or is the website's down for just you. And this is what it says. Like, is Japan open yet? No, it's not. So I don't know what Ricky's gonna do. He doesn't know what he's gonna do because he's got to come up with a new plan now. But his case is very similar. There's another news article that came out a few days ago that at least 300, I think they were jet program participants, decided to say F you Japan and go to something else this year because they're just waiting forever.
Yeah.
So the Prime Minister Kishida, who I think is a very smart person, he's a genius, he's our best leader. His plan now is to, you guessed it, keep the country closed some more.
What was the word for sakoku that you guys talking?
Country in chains.
Country in chains.
But that's the literal sakoku is literally chained country. But the term for it historically is the isolation period.
So Japanese student who wants to go abroad can go to
Japanese people can do whatever they want.
Right.
Only foreign people.
Right.
So it's racist. That's why every week I say, Kishida, you're an idiot. What are you doing? I want the news to start saying this. And, some people are actually starting to say this. They're like, this is stupid. The WHO criticized the country saying, hey, why are you guys doing this based on your ethnicity? It doesn't make any sense. And so it's just, just every week we're waiting. So
we get tired of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of economic harm that's happening as well. There's another. Let me go to another story. So while we're talking about this, we have another story about India. I think I put this later in the show, but I'll pull it up. India to surpass Japan as Asia's second largest economy by 2030. Josh, can you actually pull up that page that you had a moment ago, the GDP thing?
What rank is India in right now? 3, 4?
So right now, I think India is number 5.
Number 5.
I'm not sure. I think it's number 5.
Okay.
Someone just have to Google that, but I think it's 5. And so the projected 2030 GDP puts India like well above Japan and putting it into third place. So I think right now the ranking goes America, China, Japan, Germany, and then I think after that is India. Okay, so that's what it is. So, I mean, it makes sense too because India has 1 billion fucking people, right? Japan has 130 something million people.
Right.
But we were talking about this pre-show. Germany has 80 million people.
So you mean less than Japan?
Half the population of Japan.
Uh-huh.
And Germany's GDP is very close to Japanese GDP. And in the future, it's going to be more than that. And so, if I was leading this country right now, I wouldn't be thinking about today and like the corona cases that we have today.
Why is this happening? You're making me feel uneasy about living in this country.
Well, you should be. You guys, so you all who vote should start to think about this because what's happened in Japan in the last 40 years is basically since the 90s, okay, since the late 80s and early 90s, basically no change has happened.
Yeah.
And all of you guys who vote are okay with that. And so you guys keep voting for the same policies, the same people, year after year after year. So nothing changes. Well, the problem with that is China, for example. China is led by Winnie the Pooh. And we're so bad in so many countries. China's leadership, I make fun of China, but China's leadership is not stupid. Their government is actually filled with engineers, people who can do math and who are very, very smart. And they're looking at they're looking at this as not a 5-year game or a 10-year game. They're looking at the 50, 100-year game, right? Because China as a country, it's middle country for a reason. China, the country, is middle and then country, right? They were the center of the world for a long, long time, and they're coming back. right? And so the people who are making the decisions at the top of the Chinese government are they're thinking very, very hard on how to use this, a future strategy to get to number one in GDP.
So their enemy is America?
It's not an enemy, but it's a competition.
Yeah, competition.
I mean, you're competing for resources. Rival, right? So let's say that you are a very, very smart kid in Sweden, okay, or Norway, and you're a genius, right? Now you've studied, you got into it's time to go to a university, right? Where do you go to university? Well, you definitely don't want to go to a third world country.
Yeah.
You're not going to go to a poor country. You're going to go to one of the top countries with the top schools.
Exactly.
And we talked about this before on the show, but the Japanese universities are all going down because they're staying the same from the 90s. They haven't changed. So if you don't change and the whole world keeps growing, well, relative to the rest of the world, you're losing. And so that has been what has been happening. That made sense since the bubble burst in the 90s.
Okay, so you're saying that we are the country that the one food which is left over and everybody is going up.
Yeah, I mean look at pull up the GDP projection again.
You're making me feel uneasy again.
Well, if you look at the GDP trajectories from the last 30 years or so, you see United States, China doing this, and then Japan just kind of keeping the same level. Remember when China beat us for GDP and went from we went from number 2 to number 3. Do you remember that? That was 2010 or 12 or something like that. So look at Japan, the green. Look at the green. Can you zoom in on this? Is it possible to zoom in? Look at the green on that one, okay? So look at compared to China and the United States, because the green is current GDP. It's tiny compared to China and the United States. Now if I'm going to play devil's advocate, okay, the Chinese economy is probably half fake, maybe a third fake. And so their numbers are kind of, do we believe them? We don't know. But in the United States, GDP is a big portion of our GDP is financial.
So, but why Japan can still be on the top? I mean, one of the top countries then?
Wait, can or can't?
Can. But we haven't changed anything, but still, in the top ranking.
Josh, can you pull up the GDP by country over time? It's like a line graph. You'll find it. It's not about so imagine that in this room, Natsuki,
okay,
we all have the same amount of money. Okay. Suddenly, myself and Josh, we invest our money, we do things with our money, and we make more money. And you keep the same amount of money.
Okay.
In 20 years from now, if we're really, really, really rich and you have the same amount of money, does that mean that you've kept the same level?
I see. So we are living in the money that we made in the past.
Kind of. We're living off the stuff that was made in the past.
Okay.
And so if you look
and we haven't changed.
Right, there's been no change. Looks really old. What's the last year on this one?
This is 1993 to 2012.
Okay, well, this is 2012, but if you look at China, okay, and Japan, China is the orange one right there, right? If you look at China, if you add 10 years to that, it just keeps going up. And America also keeps going up. You should probably find a more current graph. But the Japanese line, you can see it just sits there going up and down like this, being flat since the 90s.
Being flat.
There you go.
So our only hope is Toyota?
No.
No.
Our only hope, there's a couple of things that's per capita GDP. We want to see GDP as a national number. Anyway, our only hope is leadership change. And the only way the leadership is going to change is that if voters understand what they need to vote for. Now, this is hard because, again, playing devil's advocate, if we talk about the United States, I would say maybe 10 or 15% of the voters in the United States understand what they're voting for. Maybe 10, maybe 15. Most people who are voting on their emotions. They like this candidate or they like that candidate. Right? So you could say that Hillary Clinton probably had way better policies than Trump. But Trump won because people liked him better. It was a election of personality, right? So I'm not saying that other countries do necessarily a lot better at this, but in Japan, it's vote for the same, and no change. So it's and it worked. To give credit, it worked. It worked for years, but you can't keep doing that forever. So anyway, so India's going to surpass us, and they're going to be. But it makes sense because India has 1 billion people. Japan has 135 million people, whatever the number is.
What happened to India? Because they have like good engineers. That's why their GDP is going up.
Well, kind of. So if we just take it like GDP is the sum of what the output of the country was for that year. Okay. So if you can say, Natsuki, how much work can you do in a year? Right? Or just as a person, just think about that. And then you multiply that across all the people who are working in the country, right? Well, in India, they have 1 billion people, right? So even if the output of one person is much lower than a Japanese person, they have 1 billion people, right? And so as the country works towards a more, advanced future, more and more Indians are moving to cities. They're going to university. They're doing things in the tech sector. They're doing a lot of technology like Silicon Valley is doing. They're making a lot of software. And so the earning of the country is going up and up and up and up. And as, let's say, you are really lucky. You live in India. You learned how to program. You made a small company. You made some money. Now your kids are going to go to private school. Now your kids are going to go to university. They're going to make more money. Then their kids will do that and make more money. Do you see how this works on and on and on? So the country goes like this.
So Germany is great because that you said, their population is half of, Japanese population.
Around half.
Yeah, around half. But they're still, doing good job. Like,
Well, Germans, I don't know if you've ever met a German before, but Germans are incredibly efficient.
See, because they have a long vacation too, right?
Oh, they do. But Germany, so the culture of work in Germany and Japan is actually kind of similar. And it's very, that's why you don't want to, what do they say? You want your cars engineered in Germany, but designed in Italy, right? Because, it's this is kind of racist, but, the idea is that Germans are really good engineers, and they are. And so is Japan. I mean, you want a Japanese or a German car if you buy a car, right? Don't buy an Italian engine. Josh is like dying back there because he's hungover. But like, it's kind of my fault too. But so Germans and Japanese are very, very similar on that. The difference is the leadership in Germany is really good. They're not dumb and doing the same thing over and over and over again every single year. They're very, very clever, right? And so like you could see before when the leadership of Germany and the leadership of America back when Trump was president, they would meet. It was hilarious because like you could see, what was it, Merkel, is that her name? She was like super, super smart. Can you look up the former prime minister of Germany? And like you could see the conversation there that they're having. You could just see that she's really, really smart. And Trump's like, being Trump. Merkel, right? Is that her name? What's something Merkel?
Angela Merkel.
Angela Merkel, there she goes. And you could, whenever she talks, now you could agree with her policies or whatever, but she's very, very smart. And so you see this very intelligent leadership happening in Germany. And so on top of that, they make good stuff. Germans make good stuff. So do the Japanese. What?
I've heard that one reason why German people are so efficient is because of their language.
Because they have an object
in
their language.
Like, so when they say, like, instead of saying, I'm going to go to the store, their sentences are more along the lines of, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy milk and then eggs and then this and then that and then I'm going to come home.
Yeah, so it has an objective in it. But I mean, all this is just generalization. But if you look at the culture, you can see in Japan, like this, work the people to death. Don't invest in technology. I mean, you go to, like, in your company, for example, your company is a very forward-thinking company in Japan. Do you guys have a fax machine?
Yeah, we still do internet fax machine.
How's the technology in your work? Is it like advanced or is it like
advanced?
Are you guys using computers from the last 10 years?
No, we keep changing.
Okay. Your company's good. I mean, I don't want to say the name, but your company's good. There's other companies that are good out there. But the majority of companies, you go into them, some of them don't even have computers. They're doing everything on paper.
Can be true.
And it's just like...
Yeah, we talked about the, even police use the floppy disk and they lost their, the information.
Yeah.
So we talked about it end of the year.
Yeah, you guys talked about that on the Natsuki Josh show. Let's go to something a little bit more lighthearted. Let's go to your story.
Okay.
This one, pre-show, Natsuki kept saying kimochiwari,
yeah,
like,
disgusting news. Okay, the news is about Japanese woman gives up baby and she sues sperm donor because the sperm donor lied about his education.
And his ethnicity and his marital status.
Yeah, this is very disgusting news. I can't believe it.
So to give you guys a background on this, there's one sperm bank in Japan. One.
How many sperm banks the other country have? Many and many?
Well, I've never been to one personally, but I don't know how many sperm banks are in the United States. Let's find out. I assume that they
Is
have.
this common thing that if you want a baby and if your husband doesn't have a sperm, go to a sperm bank?
If your husband doesn't have sperm. I don't know how common it is, but I mean, it is a thing. You can
And then, in fact, this woman had sex with the guy and then she pregnant. And then it turned out that his education history is not true. That's why she's suing. But she had sex with the guy.
What?
Apparently, there are 24
2
sperm
dozen?
banks.
In America.
only,
So that means that 24.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So, again, I have no idea how this actually works, but the image of sperm banks in the United States is that if you're, a handsome, well-educated, healthy man, you can go and sell your sperm to the sperm bank.
How much?
I have no idea. How much do you get? I've never done this personally. But then if you're a woman...
How do you do that? You go to the love lottery and do it yourself? And...
How do you do it?
It says that to receive sperm, it costs about $1,000.
So, I don't know, do a third for that, maybe $200, $300
So
to sell.
maybe a student who doesn't have money and I want to get some money and go, some, smart kids go to the level and sell their sperm.
Maybe. Anyway, so there's needs out there for single women who want to have babies.
Okay.
And, because, you need mother and father for a baby.
Yeah, or lesbian couples, maybe.
Maybe. That's also a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, there's one sperm bank in Japan, and it's not very popular because, according to the news article, due to Japanese law, if a woman gets pregnant, the woman can then afterwards, or the child of the woman can then afterwards sue the sperm bank to find out the information of the father. And so there's a reluctancy for people to use the sperm bank on both sides because it's not 100% anonymous. In this particular case, so because of that, so what couples do is if they're trying to find a sperm donor is they use, it says SNS, but it's social media. Mm-hmm. So they use Facebook groups or whatever, and they find, people. Doesn't it just sound like a cuckold, right?
Cuckold? What is it?
Cuckold. It's, how would you explain that to Natsuki in a clean way?
So when there's a husband and a wife, but the husband will find another man to have sex with his wife and then he'll watch.
Like Tom Cruise movie, Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, I thought you were going to go to a different direction with Tom Cruise there.
Anyway.
So that's what this sounds like, but I guess this is a legit. She really wanted to have a baby. But I think the biggest problem, there's two things that stand out on this story. I think the reason why this woman's actually that pissed off is one, because this guy said that he went to Kyoto University when he really didn't.
Yeah.
And two, because he's Chinese.
Kyoto University is, by the way, the number 2 universities in Japan. And then, according to the news article, that her husband is graduated from Tokyo University, the top,
but
university.
doesn't have sperm or whatever. But whatever. But so I think the couple are upset because the sperm donor or what do you call it? The cuck is the guy that watches, right? What's the bull? That's what they're called. They're called bulls. Why do I know that?
What is it?
So,
the other hand.
The guy who's doing the.
Ooh.
So the bull in this case is a Chinese guy who lied and who's also married, by the way.
And then the husband didn't know about this.
Which husband?
This woman's husband didn't know that she was hiding and met that guy and had sex and get pregnant.
I think this is just I'm telling you, this is just cheating.
Yeah, this is cheating.
So now she's suing. How much is she suing for?
3億円.
$3 million.
This is a ridiculous news.
I love it. So Japanese. But anyway, I think the major problem is probably that they gave the baby up. They had the baby and then just threw it away, gave it up to some orphanage. Good job, guys, bringing in the future.
Unbelievable news. Unbelievable.
So this next news this is actually kind of unbelievable. Japanese firefighter has pay cut after caught working at fast food restaurant. Now, I kind of feel sorry for this guy. It says here, according to union headquarters, the lieutenant had been working part-time at the restaurant since late August 2021, clocking in about 40 usually 4-hour shifts. That's such a weird sentence. The disciplinary action was finalized at a hearing held on January 6th on the grounds that the lieutenant violated the Local Public Service Act, which bans local government employees from holding second jobs. So, what do you think about this, Natsuki? You deal with employment. What do you think about that?
Poor firefighter.
What do you think about the rule that says that, firefighters can't have a second job?
Why? It's because they cannot work their role. Do you understand what I mean?
They can't do their role, but
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I mean, if he's working at a fast food, if you're
because they are公務員, public worker.
yeah, because they're public workers.
Public worker cannot have their second job, right?
Why?
I don't know, because they get people's taxes, maybe.
Yeah, but if you can do both jobs, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think this guy is there's probably a reason why he's doing a second job, right? He's got some debt, or maybe he's helping his family or something.
Yeah, or he has many kids.
Yeah, something like that. So if his salary is not enough and he works a second job, I don't see why he needs to have his main salary lowered. Poor guy. Firefighters are great. No one likes police officers, but everybody likes firefighters.
Do you love Japan?
I love Japan. I love the country. I just think the leadership is ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
It's the leadership that's the problem right now. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love this country. That's why I want to fix it. I'm trying to fix it, guys. I'm not actually doing anything to fix it. Maybe I should run for something, get citizenship, and become like a politician or something.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Don't want to. All right, let's go next one. Panasonic is the latest Japanese company to break with Japan's workaholic culture and offer 4-day work week. It says here, Panasonic joins a handful of Japanese companies, including 4-day workweek arrangements, including the pharmaceutical firm I can't read Japanese words in English, Shionogi, and the systems developer Entourage Technologies. Both plan to offer the option to start in April per Nikkei. Natsuki, again, you do. Let's just say that you work with recruitment. What do you think about this 4-day work week?
It's great, but because we talked about our GDP is going like same as ever.
Right.
Do you understand
Yeah.
what I mean? So this kind of news making me feel like
Consider this. If you are a Japanese salaryman and you spend 60 hours in the office, right? You have no time to go out and shop,
right.
go to restaurants, do anything in the economy. So if you're not spending your money, what's the GDP doing? GDP is just staying flat,
Stay flat or going down.
right? Now think about this. The standard work week in most countries is 40 hours a week, right? So if you go to work 5 times a week for 8 hours, that's 40 hours, right? Or if you go to work for 4 times a week for 10 hours, that's 40 hours. And you get 3 days off where you can go to a hotel, take a little vacation, go shopping, spend money.
Yeah, we need to do efficient work
Yeah.
to make some, free time.
And I mean, that's the thing is like, and Google did a study on this about 8 years ago that like the longer their employees worked, the output remained the same.
Yeah, and then, even the company that I work for admit to have a, double job. We can do the other job to make our 可能性を広げる. How do you say that?
可能性を広げる. Open opportunities.
Yeah, open up opportunities.
Yeah. So I mean,
So I think I like that kind of news.
Yeah. So I think this is good, and this would probably push forward, innovation, because if you work, if you have 4 hours, 4 days a week, and you have 3 days off, if you're a single person, maybe you start a new company, where you do something else. That's good, right? I mean, this couldn't work for my company particularly, unfortunately, because it's a service industry, so we're meeting people. But if you're office workers or programmers or something like that, yeah, that's totally cool. All right, let's move on. This is another economic story. Uniqlo will raise prices as Japan shifts attitude on holding prices. So basically, all around the world, inflation is happening right now. I think the current number in the United States is 8 point something percent. Don't quote me on that, but it's near 10% inflation. And so prices are going up. And so Uniqlo, who is the top fast fashion retailer in Japan, is going to raise their prices on some items.
Understandable. It's not cheap anymore.
No, there's a documentary. I forgot the exact name of it, but it's something like "Where in the World to Make a T-Shirt," and basically it's a huge documentary about talking about where the cheapest country in the world is to make a T-shirt.
Wait, where?
Well, no, that's the thing is like it keeps changing. Like before, like all T-shirts were made, I think, in Thailand or then Vietnam, and it just keeps changing from country to country. And I think the last place that
Bangladesh,
and stuff like that. I think the last place that was the cheapest place to make a T-shirt and remains is China, and not for any particular reason other than the Chinese government has set up entire cities. Like one city will do like T-shirts, and another city will do like socks, and so they're just really good at what they do. Did you find it? Couldn't find it? Anyway, it was years ago, maybe from the 90s or something like that.
why can't H&M still cheap?
I think that their prices change just normally. Whereas
Really?
Uniqlo, I think more people follow their prices than maybe H&M because they're a Japanese company. But I think everybody's going up. All prices are going up. Everything's becoming more expensive. So,
Okay.
But I don't see a problem with you, Uniqlo, raising your prices if everything else
Yeah,
is more
they
expensive.
actually have good quality, I think. Don't you think?
I think that as far as fast fashion, which I think is kind of a problem. I think fast fashion as far as the environment goes is a problem.
I see.
But if you're gonna pick one that's gonna last longer, and Uniqlo is pretty good. The thing that I don't like about Uniqlo is that it's made for Asian people, and so their arms are very short.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But they sell in Europe country and America too, right?
I think that they do different sizes for different countries.
I see. So you're living in Japan, then that's why your sleeve is shorter.
So like Zara, for example, is designed in Spain, but the lineup that we have in Japan is Zara Asia.
Oh, I see.
So it's a different line than what
Yeah,
we get.
Gap is different too.
Yeah, so it's different from what we get in the United States.
I
So
see.
sometimes things fit, sometimes things don't. These shoes that I'm wearing are from Zara, and they were just my size.
Is Old Navy still exist in America?
I don't know. I don't know. When I go shopping in America, I don't do like those kind of brands. I do like brands. Is Old Navy still alive? They're still alive. Look at them go.
Yeah, my image of fast fashion in America is Old Navy.
Yeah.
Gap is not, cheap anymore.
No. I think the best T-shirts in America come from American Apparel. I think that they have the best
American
T-shirts.
Apparel.
Yeah. A lot of YouTubers and little companies use American Apparel T-shirts to produce.
What was the name of the brand? American Eagle is not in Japan anymore.
Oh man, I can't remember American Eagle. All right, let's move on. So I got a story about Yakuza, which I thought was really cute. Okay.
How do you say Yakuza in English? Mafia?
Here we go. Yakuza.
Oh, okay. Is it? Yakuza is Yakuza.
Yeah, it's just Yakuza.
Okay.
So here we go. The title of this one is Japan's former Yakuza struggled to find work despite police attempts to provide support. So around 2012 or 13 or something, somewhere around there, Japan passed a law. And this was actually very, very clever. The Yakuza started becoming a pretty big problem in Japan, and they wanted to end the protection money policy. What basically like a local Yakuza, which you guys didn't know this, Yakuza in Japan are kind of interesting. They have like headquarters that are like registered places. Like you can find them in a phone book. I'm serious. Like, dude, it's crazy. Like you can go to their like headquarters and like meet them. Anyway, so we had a problem years back with basically protection money. Like the Yakuza would go around to a bunch of shops and companies and say, hey, if you want protection, you have to pay us a certain amount of money. And which is, the implication being, if you don't pay us this money, we're going to make trouble for you.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
And so I think it was a police officer that designed the law, but basically what happened was they made it illegal in Japan for companies to pay illegal organizations. So what happened now is that all these, these Yakuza places that were getting money from all these different companies, all of a sudden it ended because the company's like, oh, we can't do it because that's illegal. No matter how much the Yakuza threatened or whatever, they wouldn't do it because it's illegal. And so all of a sudden, all these Yakuza were like, they didn't have work or jobs or anything. They lost a lot of power. They became a lot weaker. And so you had all these unemployed Yakuza that what are they going to do, right? So anyway, so a lot of places around, where the Yakuza is a problem, not so much here, but where Yakuza is a problem, started figuring out what do we do with these guys? And so the police are trying to get them into jobs.
Okay.
So you have a story in here about this young 27-year-old who had spent his entire life in the gang, comes to the police and says, I need help, give me a job. So they referred him to a center, and at the center, the man was shown multiple job options, amongst which he was ultimately accepted as a regular worker at a firm doing maintenance on hotel equipment, among other services. After becoming an employee there, his superior taught him how to use a computer and create documents.
Hey, do you know how to become Yakuza? That boy is like 27 years old, right? He's young. No, I mean, this story, if the guy is about like 50 or 60, I understand that.
What are you talking about? I think Yakuza start when they're teenagers. That's how they get them.
Oh, teenager.
Like you appeal to, if you're a high school dropout and you have nothing to do, they appeal to them. Hey, you want cool clothes? You want to drive a nice car? You want girls? Yes, of course I do. Okay, get in the gang. And then that's when they start getting you.
Oh.
Right? They start controlling you, and then they raise you, and that's the only thing that you know how to do. That's the only lifestyle you know how to you can do, and so you stay in there. That's why this story is talking about
Okay, so
trying to rehabilitate those people.
I see.
But to answer your question, no, I don't know how to become Yakuza. Fun side fact: when you go golfing in this country, they make you sign 2 documents. One saying that, you're not going to sue them or whatever. Like basically, you're giving away you're saying I'm, not going to hold you liable for anything. 1 and 2, I am not Yakuza. Like they make you sign a freaking paper that says I am not Yakuza. I swear to God.
Huh.
Like when I first went golfing, I was like, I'm sorry, what does this say? And they're like, oh, just sign it. Everybody just signs it.
Right, I have seen those documents myself too. Are there any online Yakuza, women Yakuza too? Maybe.
Yeah. There's a Yakuza book that was released by an American, I think, years back, and they talk about that. But yeah, a side note, one of my friends, Brian, recommends the PlayStation game called, I think, Yakuza or whatever it's called. He says it's the most hilarious video game he's ever played.
I watched the movie Hustler that Jennifer Lopez is in. Do you know the movie?
No, but continue.
Okay, so the movie is about, strippers in New York is trying to cheat the Wall Street guys, and then she and her friends damasu the rich guys. Trick. Actually, this is a true story.
Okay.
But yeah, the one hustlers.
Okay.
And then they
it looks
made
like an Ocean's 11 with girls.
Yeah, they made a lot of money.
Wait, didn't they have an Ocean's 11 with girls? I think they did. Sandra Bullock.
Those women are strippers.
Did you just Google Ocean's 11 with girls? Ocean's 8. Okay.
Then,
well, anyway, why are you talking about this other movie with Jennifer Lopez?
Okay, because those women sounds like Yakuza to me. Do you understand what I mean?
So random. So random.
Because those Wall Street guys don't want to find out that they did, stripper things. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh, they don't want to get caught.
Yeah, they don't want to get caught.
It's called exploitation. That's
exploitation.
What it's called. Exploitation. This is why the end of the year show with you and Josh was so funny that neither of you guys were on topic. It was just all over the place. All right, let's continue. Okay. You have 2 fun stories, so we'll save those for the end. So this one. Long wallet or bifold? This is an interesting story. Josh, long wallet or bifold?
I have both, but I use the bifold.
You use the bifold. Natsuki, your husband, does he have a long wallet or a fold one?
Half it.
Full bifold. And I have a long wallet. So let's see what this says about us. Okay.
Why don't you ask me?
Because... Oh, I guess you count too.
It's a guy's story.
No, I didn't think that you would have a wallet, but now that I'm thinking of it, I guess you do have a wallet. Women don't have folded wallets, right?
No, but I used to have one when I was...
Okay, how about you?
Yeah, long wallet.
Long wallet. Okay, so we got 2 and 2. Let's see what it has. Let's see. A few days ago, 29-year-old Australian-Japanese model and former Terrace House presenter Nina Trandle, whatever, made news in Japan for revealing her views on her ideal man during a TV appearance. Among possessing merits like great skin and good driving skills, Trendle said her ideal man would have to own a bifold wallet.
That's why I'm more popular than you, Mitch.
That's why. While her revelation was met with laughter from TV host, Trendle said it was a deal breaker as she believes a man's wallet should be compact. I have a huge wallet. It has my name written on it.
How's your name?
Well, I didn't buy it. You guys did. Like, whoever, my
So
staff
that was
bought
a
it for me.
gift.
Yeah,
That
it
was a gift. Oh.
Okay, so when I first started my company, I literally used a dollar store wallet
Okay.
that was red because I liked it for like 8 years. It was like falling apart, and every time I pull it out at a restaurant or something, my second in command, my number 2, would get embarrassed. And so one day she bought me like a $500. Her and the other staff bought me like a $500 wallet.
I can't really see that you're using cash. Do you need a wallet?
Dude, I got in trouble today. So the filter guy came over to my house. I didn't have any cash. I forgot about that. Anyway, I don't do cash, man. I like credit cards.
So why you need, the wallet then?
Yoshu Show, giant receipts.
I see.
It's just filled with receipts.
I see.
Okay, let's go to your Ghibli story.
Okay.
You do your Ghibli story while I text the radio and tell them I'm going to be late.
So I researched about what people wanted to do after pandemic, and the number one thing was what is it? Domestic.
Violence.
No. Domestic travel. So I researched about, Ghibli World. I mean, the Ghibli Park.
Yeah.
Opening in 2020 in Nagoya. And then, we talked about this before.
Opening in 2020, 2022?
2022.
Okay.
2022.
2020 was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
sweetie.
right. So, okay, we talked about this before, but the newest thing is, Kiki's delivery service, panya, bread shop,
Bakery.
bakery.
Do you remember English Nutscape?
Yes, I do. Bakery.
I mean, you can say bread shop, I guess. That makes sense. Okay.
Oh, okay. Guchoki panten. That's what we call in Japanese. Yeah, guchoki panten is like a stone, scissors, paper.
Yeah. Rock, scissors, paper.
Rock, scissors, paper, bakery shop.
Okay.
Because, why I'm talking about this is because Kiki's Delivery Service is the best movie in Ghibli for me.
If you guys hasn't seen Kiki's Delivery Service, it's basically about a witch who delivers pan, iro.
Yeah, iro.
She works at she lives in an attic next to a bakery.
Yeah, not next to, it's like a same area. Do you understand what I mean?
I think it's the bakery building, and then she lives on the second floor over here.
Right.
And then anyways,
she didn't have anywhere to live, and then asked the bakery women, and then you can use my place. And
Yeah.
She started live that place.
So anyway, what are you talking about? This bread shop? What's the story?
Oh, it's about you can actually buy their breads in the Ghibli park, and
so they made like a real life version
right,
of it. Okay.
right. That's fantastic.
What if the bread isn't good? What are you gonna do?
It should be good. What are you talking about?
We got Ocean's 8 back on the screen. Okay, so do you get one more?
And one more. What is it?
You chose it. What?
It's about Ghibli Park again, and they're like little things like shosai. I can't say that in English. Okay, can you explain?
So it's,
details.
Yeah, the details about the park. And so if you guys haven't seen this yet, this is on timeout.com. It's got a bunch of photos about all the different things that they're going to have there, like the Hill of Youth. What is that?
Oh, it's maybe some movie.
Raputa.
Raputa.
So it's like places, all these different, they have a bunch of, Mononoke's village, the Valley of the Witches, the Dondoko Forest. Basically, all these different places from the movies are going to be in this theme park.
Yeah, isn't it exciting?
But it's going to be in Nagoya, right?
Yeah.
I don't like Nagoya.
Why not?
Have you ever been there?
Once.
Did you like it?
Okay. I went there when they had a exhibition, a Nagoya Aichi Banpaku exhibition. Is my English
exhibition?
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 10 years ago. No, more than 10 years ago. But anyway.
I don't know. I always shit on Nagoya on the show. I should be nice to them.
How many times did you go to? You've been there like
a couple times.
Yeah.
And they were both not great.
Oh, really?
I mean, maybe I should do it again. I'll do it again. I'll try again.
Did you go to Toyota Experiment Center?
No, what is that? That sounds horrible.
Many kinds of robots are there that I heard.
Oh, that might be fun. I don't know. Guys, look, I always shit on Nagoya, but I'll go back and give you guys a third chance, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Ghibli Park should be interesting.
Yeah, I'll go for Ghibli. How about that? Well, okay, so it's not.
And there's a Legoland too.
Legoland, I think you can't go there if you don't have kids.
Really?
Yeah, maybe
You
that
can
was
use mine.
just use your kid. Come on, Shiori, let's go to Legoland. She's like, who the hell are you? We got 2 stories left, and these are very positive, very fun stories. 1, Japanese rail fans heartbroken as Tokyo area KQ line chooses to retire its last pata pata sign.
Huh.
Natsuki, can you tell us what a pata pata sign is?
Pata pata sign is the old sign that people used in Showa era. This like, how do you say that? I can explain that.
It sounds exactly like it sounds. It's a pata pata. So like instead of digital,
Yeah.
instead of having like a screen, which all the train stations have now, they have like these little rotating pieces of plastic, and they go pata 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 pata, and then they change, right? Like you guys just imagine like films from like the 60s. Whenever
Yeah.
something changes on like a big machine or something, it's like and it shows
Yeah.
up. Yeah, pata pata.
I didn't know that still exists in Japan.
It's the last one. And so I think this is it says, I'm sad I won't be able to see you all any longer. And please come see the pata pata sign one last time.
Pata pata sign will go to train museum so you can see it. Don't you
But
think?
but train otaku are very passionate about what
Right, right.
they... Last story, and also about trains. Sailor Moon stick becomes real world's coolest subway pass.
This is, yeah, I can say it's cool, but it's hard to, in it out from the, back. Do you understand what I mean?
Does it have a name, her thing?
Moon stick, moonlight stick. Maybe I
stick.
can't remember the real name.
So Sailor Moon has like a magic wand. I think she uses it to transform, right? Or something. I've actually never watched Sailor Moon before. I have no idea anything about it.
How do you use that? Like you install something like IC chips?
Yeah, so
in
it has
there?
an IC chip in it.
Okay.
And so basically, as you're going into the train station, most people that are adults and functioning normally use their phone.
Yeah.
Just go peep like
or a
this.
watch.
Oh my god, it was so funny. Natsuki. I went to Fukuoka like I don't know a month ago with my VP,
Okay.
and like because we're not rural where we are here, but we're not a big city, so there's no like major trains or anything. Everybody drives everywhere. Anyway, so I set up Suica on her phone, and so she's like walking in. She's never done it before, so she's
Okay.
scared. And so she walks in, and she like
Beep.
beep. And she's like, I did it. I'm like, you're like 38 years old, lady. Anyway, so most people use their phone. And in this case, the Sailor Moon stick will be available as a subway pass. So you'll be able to take your Sailor Moon stick and beep into the subway.
I hope they make special sound for, those,
I hope so too. I hope
Yeah.
it goes or something
Yeah.
like lights up and flashes. It'd be great.
Yeah. Where can we buy it? Online?
Oh, right here it says, its jewels do light up when the embedded Easy card is being read.
Huh.
Nice.
How much is it?
I don't know.
3,000 yen?
Why did you just guess 3,000 yen?
I don't know. I just guessed.
Oh, it says right here. It says the Easy Moon stick is priced at 1,799 Taiwanese dollars.
A Taiwanese dollar. So it's
Yeah.
not made in Japan.
No, this is for the Taipei metro system, not for Japan.
Taipei Metro. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have said that. So for the Taipei metro system, not for Japan. But because it's so popular, Taiwanese love Japanese culture.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, there are a bunch of Sailor Moon fans in the world.
yeah. This kind of reminds me of when I was in Tokyo Disney Sea. And they like gave you like you had to buy it, but it was like the 15th anniversary or 10th anniversary or something like that. And like you got this magic wand, and you went around to all these different. They called them monumento. So I guess they're like
Like
art
a statue, right?
statue or something.
Yeah.
And you put the wand. This is before the pandemic. You put the wand in the slot, and the whole thing would light up.
That's it?
Well, but if you're a little kid, that's like amazing, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. But it's just, writing and make some sounds, right?
Yeah, it goes hoo, 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 like Mickey's
Mickey
voice.
Mouse, yeah.
And at the time, like I've since thought about it, and I thought it was kind of cool. But at the time when I did it in front of the camera, I was like, "What the hell is this? Like, am I supposed to be happy about
Yeah, but Tokyo Disney Sea is actually 20th anniversary this year, right?
this?" So I guess it was 5 years ago that I went there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, time flies.
Well, because the pandemic, like it's over, and nothing happened for 2 years.
Right. Are we talking about this again?
No, we're not. But anyways, guys, 2022 is going to be where everything happens. And Ghibli's opening. When does it open, by the way?
It doesn't say.
Doesn't say. Well, I'll tell you what. When it opens, let's go together. Can you
2 months after.
Natsuki literally had her first baby. Like she just had it and went to work right away. Like right afterwards.
No, I got a 1 year off my real job, but
My real job.
and I'm going to have 1 year off, so I'm gonna do some cool things to do.
That's cool. That's cool. All right, guys. I think next week we'll have a more positive show with Alex.
Yeah.
He's not positive. No, I think what we'll do is we'll probably just stop doing the Corona stories because every single
Yeah, I don't
week-
want to talk about, economic or GDP stuffs anymore because, you're making me feel like I don't want to live in this country anymore.
It's a great country, guys, for the people. It's a great country for the people. The government is full of Kishida. Come on, bro. Be a cool guy. All right, guys, that's been our show today. Thanks for everybody watching. We'll see you guys next week. I'm like 30 minutes late for my radio show, so I have to go.
Oh my God.
See you guys
Bye.
next week. Bye.